Welcome to the Generation Voids podcast, The Retail Warzone.
So anyway, as I was saying, lots of stuff on YouTube that I watch. And from a retail aspect, there's not a lot of that out there. And so I subscribe to a gentleman who goes by Camelot331. And the first thing I want to say to anybody that watches this on replay or whatnot, everybody needs to understand this is not a bash session. This is not me trying to tear somebody down. This is not me trying to make somebody look stupid. It's me expressing my disappointment from some things that have happened. So, for those of you who are not familiar, basically, Camelot, his name's Cody, was a store manager for GameStop, had some really shitty things happen to him. The story's well documented. Got done very dirty by GameStop. And after that happened, he kind of became and is today what I would kind of consider like the Pied Piper of disgruntled and pissed off retail employees, which is cool. I mean, that's kind of part of what we do here is, try to raise awareness of how bad the business sucks, etc. So, he's got Uber, 155,000 subscribers or whatnot. And he's done some really good work in the past. He has, exposed some things that needed to be exposed.
And, if I may shout out the Target video.
Yeah.
He read off a lot of the issues we've covered on a couple of past episodes about women workers, what y'all have to go through.
Right.
And the harassment and whatnot. And just seeing, people sent in to him, what happened to them. Like, it's unacceptable.
Yeah. And
props to you, Mr. Camelot, for that. Like,
exactly. I mean, this isn't a beat down, but there's some chinks in the armor, so to speak. So I'm subscribed and I've got the notifications enabled and whatnot. And, first of all, I want to say, I don't know why this particular thing really bothered me. I think it's because I take what we do here on Wednesdays extremely seriously. And I don't want to misrepresent things that have happened in my career, Alex's career, any of the other hardcore people that are involved with this here. All right. So I think, the whole title of this entire, video is To Thine Own Self Be True. Okay. And we're going to go into why I have an issue here in just a second. But, the thing he does, it's about integrity. Yes. And integrity is something you either have it or you don't. That it really comes down to that. But one of the big things he does is he gets completely inundated with messages, about different things that people are quote unquote experiencing in retail. And he'll do entire, episodes about these different messages he's got. And it's cool, but it's kind of a slippery slope because you're not a journalist. You're not digging for facts. You run the risk of jeopardizing what you've built by people sending you fake stuff. And that's one of the big reasons why you guys hear me harp on, I want hourly associates on, or I want managers on. And, the whole mantra about what we do is I want people to be able to tell their stories their own way. If somebody wants me to read a story, that's great. But the difference between me and then what he would do, I would not mention the retailer. I might give it a cute nickname or something or whatnot, but I will not come out and say who that is because I cannot verify, the story. And I'm just not going to do that. The flip side to this is there's been some videos about some companies that I don't necessarily agree with. And the reason being is I've been doing this for 30 years. I know a lot of people that work for these chains. And I know some of the stuff comes across as complete and total bullshit. It really is. You know, and I've got to be careful what I do because there are hundreds of friends and former employees that know me or whatnot. That if I say something stupid in here, you're going to call me on my bullshit. And you should. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So to give you an idea, you know, like I said, I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm a supporter. So here's what you need to know. Okay. So here you see the kind of little screenshot of his screen, you know, his channel, 158,000 subscribers. Okay. The video in question is the one there under uploads while I was fired from Walmart district manager. I'm a supporter of this guy. And just to let you know, up in the top right before we launched the Retail War Zone, I direct messaged him on Twitter to kind of try to get some sort of dialogue about retail and whatnot. Because my ultimate goal in what we do is I'd like to have kind of like a consortium of people that have been through this. You know, imagine it like the Justice League of retail. All right. You know, that's what it is. So
the Avengers Initiative.
Right. So I sent him a message. He saw it because it shows you in Twitter when it's read. He never replied, and that's okay. Did I think he would reply? No, because at that point in time, if you look at the screen, he had 13,000 followers on Twitter. So can you imagine how many messages this dude is getting about different things people are going through and whatnot? If you look at the uploads, you'll see a video, the fourth one over. I'm 31 and I have no friends. Emotional, I'm sorry. 100,000 views on that. Comment from the Generation Void supporting him. Ugly tears are the most sincere tears. No need for people to be so damn mean. Hell, I mean, it's not a lot of money. Donated to 5 spot on a live stream. Made a comment about the guitar he was looking for and whatnot. So this isn't like, you know, I hate this dude or, you know, I want to see him burn in hell or something. No, he's done a lot of good work. Okay. So for anybody to come streaming through here and start raising hell that, you know, we're jealous of Camelot and all that. No, we're not, for one thing. You know, I'm a 50-year-old dude. I'm not jealous of a damn soul. Well, I take that back. I'm jealous of like George Lynch because he's the greatest guitar player ever, but that's it. I'm not.
You know, not to mention, but me trying to be a content creator myself, I know how hard it is to grow. So, you know, I'm not just trying to come in here and just bash this guy for no reason. I mean, that's his channel. He wants to do retail stuff. I respect
Correct.
that.
And I respect,
that's what
I respect it too. I do. I respect.
That's what I dedicate literally 1 to 2 hours of my time every Wednesday.
Right.
Just to talk about my experience.
Exactly. And, you know, if you go back and look at his earlier videos, his demeanor and everything has changed. I mean, he was a lot different back when he first started. All right. And is that good or bad? I don't know. I mean, you know, it's not my job to judge somebody. So, but anyway, so I'm subscribed and I get notifications. And, you know, when a new video pops up. And so I'm cruising on Monday or whatnot, and I get the notification, new Camelot331 video. And I'm like, sweet, okay. So I hit play, and I've got it open in another tab, and I'm doing some other stuff online or whatnot. And then I hear him go through his spiel at the beginning of the video, and I stopped what I was doing, and I said, whoa, wait a fucking minute. And here's why, okay? Look. I've been doing this for 30 years. A lot of you guys that are connected with us that watch our stuff that, you know, you guys are people I know. We've been in this business a long time. Okay. And if you take the video at face value, when he goes through his basic opening statement, he basically 110% says, hey, I went from being a store manager at GameStop to a DM at Walmart. Now we'll get into the logistics of it here in a minute. But I heard that, I pressed pause, I rewound it, and I'm like, surely he just didn't fucking say that. But
I had to pause and rewind a couple times myself because Steve here DM'd me this video and was like, yo, check this out. And I was like, okay, great, retail stuff. Yay.
But here's the thing. When you've been in retail as long as we have been and you hear that statement, it's a big, huge red flag. It's like, I have a better chance of winning the Powerball 3 times in a row than any GameStop manager jumping to DM. Now, was that the case? No, it wasn't, and we'll get into that. However, as that video stands today, that is what it says. Okay? And I have, and Alex and I have a friend who we've known, Alex, what is it, like 10 years now?
Yeah.
10 years. Who is a long-term employee for said company. And this flew all over me all of a sudden. And I'm like, I got to send him this. And I sent him the link to the video while I'm watching this. I'm like, you have got to see this. I want to hear what you have to say. To which was this. And I got his permission to use this. I make sure to take his name out. All right. So here is the message on Facebook where I'm sending him the video. His response, just looking at the title, we have not had district managers for 15 years. Followed up by, that entire thing is a lie. We don't have regional directors, LOL. He is an idiot. Their pay is about $250,000 a year and has not been cut. It goes up every year. He is so full of shit. Now.
Oh my goodness.
Now this guy would, let me tell you about this person. Okay. I was working for him at another retailer at one point in time, and something happened with our, something happened with our car. All right. And I was a manager and I couldn't get to work, and I let him know about it, messaged him or whatnot. He was off. He drove to my house from 30 minutes away, picked me up and took me to work. That's just the kind of guy he is. And we were talking with him last night, actually, and he was asking for more information, and he's been in 46 of the 50 states working for this company, and no one's heard of Cody. And this is a guy that I can promise you would take a bullet for myself or Alex, and we would take a bullet for him. This is not somebody that lies. This is not somebody who's going to make, he finds all of this amusing as hell because it's just not true. All right.
This is somebody that got ran over by a semi-truck.
This is true.
Got up, shook it off, and still kept unloading it even though he was hurt. And he's a manager.
So, but like I said, here's the thing. You've been in this business a long time, and you hear this, and you know immediately there's a problem. There's some fuckery going on here because it's not accurate. Okay. Regardless of what your comeback is, or regardless of what your explanation is, you have portrayed it as fact. So we'll go to the next slide. And here's where it goes. I start looking at the comments to see, surely I'm not the only person that picks up on this. And here we go. This is just some of the comments. This thread right here. This doesn't add up. Walmart does have district managers, but it's more of an established position. I really don't see the rush to hire somebody literally day after applying. And you go through or whatnot. And I've got the link to the video in the description of our video. You can go check it out. But, one of the great things here, lying by obfuscation weakens his brand and makes me not want to watch. I don't believe for a minute he was a district manager for Walmart. I have to see some seriously heavy proof of it. I've got over on the right side the definition of that word. The action of making something obscure, unclear, or unintelligible. Okay? Then you got the comment at the bottom. You keep changing your story. On an older video, you said you were a district manager for a third-party vendor service that would supply movies and CDs to Walmarts. And now you're claiming you were actually employed by Walmart as the district manager. Which is it? If you were just a district manager from an outside vendor company, then no, you were not above the Walmart assistant managers, co-managers, or store managers like you claim in this video. You have no say in how they conduct the business in their stores because you were just from an outside company trying to increase the sales of your physical media. I spent 12 years at Walmart, and I've seen a few third-party vendors get kicked out and banned from the property due to the way that they were treating associates and customers. It's kind of sad, and I feel ashamed of myself for defending you in the past when people would call you a liar. Now, after watching this video, I realized you are a liar and like to fabricate stories to make yourself look better. I mean, look, that's what it seems like. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean,
just me as an associate, just watching that video, I had a ton of questions.
Yeah.
I was sitting there. I'm like, you as a district manager sure was working in the store a lot.
Right. And it's just sad to me. And Kira, you're right. It's all about the likes. And unfortunately, I think that's what it really comes down to. And look, I'll say this right here and right now. If you can prove otherwise, I will issue an apology. Don't care. I've got no shame. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If you can prove me wrong, I'm a big enough man that I can say I was incorrect. Furthermore, if you want to come on our piddly little show with 51 subs and tell your story and clarify, come on. Let's go. But on the surface, no. You're blurring the line between what's real and what's not. And we're going to get into why that's a problem here in just a second. So we're going to bring up the last slide that I have. All right. So this is some more comments we'll start at the top left. I've been sub for 2 to 3 years and this isn't adding up. You said a long time ago you worked in Walmart, but not for them. Also, a district manager is $100,000 a year plus job at Walmart. Pretty sure they didn't hire a 27-year-old who was making $35K at GameStop to a district manager. You definitely work for a supplier. Another comment. This video is BS. He wasn't a DM for Walmart. All right. If you're going to post a video, be truthful about your experience. Don't say things about a company that you haven't worked for. Your video is misleading at best. Your video is very misleading at best. Then another one. No, he has not been 100% truthful in this video. And this is the same person who posted the comment on the previous slide. Now, why this is important is take a look. All right. So he's got 158,000 subscribers. And in his description, he's got, to clarify some things, this job consisted of managing district payroll schedules, HR issues, literally everything. I was mainly on a laptop 99% of the time. Walmart contracts companies to hire market managers for different departments. Mine was based around electronics. The company I worked for had the same VP of operations and was bought out by Walmart. If you look directly to the right, the two little boxes there, number one, the first one is me getting permission to use my friend's comments. Yes, that's fine. Followed by, he is full of shit. And then the second comment is after I sent him this clarification. Haha, OMG, he is a liar. Somebody else posed a question in the comment section. I thought you worked at a third-party company that Walmart uses in their stores for electronics or something. I must be remembering differently. And he actually responded. Yeah, it's in the description. Walmart is confusing and contracts out nearly all positions that is not basic employees to avoid liability issues and loopholes in legal. The company I work for was owned by Walmart and had the same VP of operations, so it was just Walmart with a different name. That'd be negative, Ghost Rider. The other thing I got here is, look, here's the little screen underneath his video as of earlier today. Why I was fired from Walmart district manager. 23,050 views as of April 26, 2021 at that point in time. 3,000 thumbs up, 34 thumbs down. Wow. I mean, that's great.
Lamau, you dislike that, Steve.
Yeah, it's that's great. But let's just use percentages. All right. So I don't know about you guys. When I'm perusing YouTube, I don't click on the damn description of the video. I see a thumbnail and I see, oh, well, this looks cool, and I click on it. I may click on the description and see if there's timestamps to fast forward or see if it's broken to segments. So
I'm a freak. I click on descriptions.
Okay, well, that's cool. But I would be willing to bet 10 to 20% of YouTube viewers only do that. So if you do the math out of 28,000 views, all right, let's just say 10%. That's what? 2,800 people? Is that right? So 2,800 people read the description. The rest of them took everything you said as the gospel. And here's my problem. You've done really good work. You've exposed a lot of things. But when you start doing stuff like this where you blur the line between truth and fiction, you cheapen your brand. And my question would be why? It's been up since Monday. You've had plenty of time to go back and edit. Maybe just put a little snippet at the beginning saying, hey, well, this isn't exactly what it comes out to be. You feel like your description that's buried that nobody reads is enough, and your one comment is enough. Look, man, retail sucks. And us here, we know that.
Yeah.
But don't blur the line. Yeah. Okay? It's one of those deals where I take it personally because what we're doing here, okay, is giving people the opportunity in their own way, with their own voice, to tell their story. And there's a reason for that. Kind of what goes on his channel with reading comments and stuff like that. It's kind of like Reddit. It's like drive-by bitching. I'm going to drop my comment and I'm off and I'm gone. I've said what I need to say. But the bigger problem is, what happens? You get fed, a string of comments from, let's just say, a group of 10 or 15 people for some corporation decide we're going after this dude. And we're going to just unload all these crazy stories. And you're looking at it, you're like, oh shit, man, this is going to get me all sorts of views and I'm going to get paid. And they baited you. Dude, it's not a good way to go. But when you have a video like this just came out and you had several people in your comments realize what you said versus what you meant was bullshit, it's deception. And as Kira says here, thank you, it makes the people who tell the truth look bad and people start to not believe us who've loved it for real. And that is correct. Now look, Cody, if you wind up watching this, that's cool. I've liked a lot of what you've done. But this one, we got to throw a flag on this one. All right. And we have to ask ourselves why. Is it for views? Start to see a lot of cracks lately. People talking about, well, he's faking this and he's faking that. Hey, look, man, I watched your video about not having any friends and whatnot. That's painful to watch and it sucks. But if you were 100% sincere in that video and then you turn around and you do this, people start to wonder, is it an act or is it real?
Well, and, just me knowing a little bit from experience, just keep it truthful, man, because, I was almost about to go down that dark path, but then Steve snapped me out of it real quick. Thank you, Steve. But I was just trying to do like things for followers and clickbait shit, right, and all that.
Look, like here's truth.
It's like, trust me, I get it. I know how hard it is. And I know that's probably what you want to do. That's what I want to do.
We got to think, Alex, his situation is totally different. It's a big business now. He's made a lot of money off of YouTube. I don't know how much money you can make off YouTube. I haven't even looked at it. I do this.
Oh, you can make a penny.
Yeah,
you can make a penny.
I do this as therapy. And I do this because I believe in it. And I believe that retail is a shitty business. All right. And I told the friend that I got all the information from Walmart for, my love for retail might be almost gone, but I'm not going to lie. You draw the line there. You don't make things weird to make yourself look cool. All right. And we've got a whopping, as of today, 52 subs. That's awesome. Hell, 30 to 40 of them are people I beg to sub. Nobody knows who the fuck we are. But you know what? I don't get hung up on the numbers because I do this because it needs to be done. And the people that have subbed, hold on. And the people that have subbed and the people that are not in our circle of people, we're doing something totally different than everybody else out there. And I believe in it. And you know what? I don't get hung up on the numbers. We lost 2 subs last week. Whatever. I don't fucking care, man. I'm just going to do what I do. We're not for everybody, but we're going to keep it real. And we're not going to blur the lines for the sake of a click. Alex, what were you saying?
I mean, that's kind of just what I was going to say. Yeah. I had a problem. I had a problem in that video of him calling entry-level associates bathroom cleaners. That one kind of hurt a little bit because, not everybody is lucky enough to get into management, and not everyone's going to be lucky enough to just walk into Walmart and become a district manager. Don't be that district manager / manager that no associate likes, that looks down on people.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You're there to help corporate hourlies. They're not just bathroom cleaners. And that bathroom cleaner, I promise you, is there to work.
Yeah.
They're there to make money. Like, if you're cleaning a bathroom hourly, Steve, feel like you're pretty serious and you're really trying to make some money.
You might not be serious as like, I want to be a bathroom cleaner, but you're serious about, like you said, making money.
Yeah, you're there because if you're willing to clean a bathroom, you're willing to make some money.
Well, look, okay, my son,
I've been there.
My son worked for GameStop, and look, I'm not trying to shit on anybody's career here. All right. 11 years at GameStop. That's great. I admire anybody who has that kind of dedication and stays more than 5 years at a job. I appreciate that. But 11 years at GameStop doesn't even come close to 3 years in big box retail, boys and girls. It's comparing apples to oranges. He got shit on and he got screwed. And I will never tell anybody otherwise. And he has a whole army of people that are defending him in this stuff. And that's great. But look, man, there's more to it than that. And I'm sorry. Ultimately, the reason this whole video has, occurred is because I was extremely disappointed that some of the things I've started to read appear to be true. And you have to understand that there are people out there that have worked in these companies, that have friends and family that work in these companies, that start saying, okay, well, this person said this about this. What do you think about this? And this isn't the first Walmart video that's come across that I haven't sent to our friend where I've been told every bit of that is bullshit. I bring managers on here and let them tell their stories. And if they lie, it's on them. All right, cool. It didn't come out of my mouth. But I just feel like it cheapens the entire movement of what people thought he was trying to do, is expose retail for what it is. So are you really trying to expose retail for what it is? Or do we notice that our metrics have went down and my income has went down and I've got to do this or whatnot? Because I'm sorry, what needs to happen to that last video is either it get yanked or you recut it and you redo the beginning and you explain what it really is. Because you just led however many members of the Camelot down this deceptive trail and believe everything that comes out of your mouth. And you know what? You can sit there and be like, well, that's them. Well, no. At your point, when you reach these certain levels, you basically become a public personality. And I'm sorry, any public personality who does not feel like they have a responsibility to handle that properly has a problem. You need to tell the truth. Clear cut. Not obfuscate. Don't make it blurry. And sure, people are going to say, oh, well, he said in a previous video he did such and such. Okay, cool. Did he have a link to that previous video saying, if you want to know what I'm talking about, go here? No.
He did just say Camelot. That was pretty good.
That's what, guys, that's what his community is called. It's called the Camelot.
I mean, hey, mine is called the Galaxy. So, I mean,
Irish Connection corny, says he drank the clickbait Kool-Aid. He has lost integrity and it undermines good points he ever had. And that's my issue. What happens with these kind of videos totally undermines all the great that this dude has done. And he's done a lot. I'm not going to throw money. Actually, to be honest with you, my wife was like, did you donate money to a streamer? And I'm like, yeah. I didn't even tell her who it was. She knew who it was. And he is the only streamer I've ever given money to, because I thought he was fighting the good fight. He's made a ton of money off of YouTube. All right. Let's call it for what it is. And it's kind of like bonuses in retail. You get your bonus 5 years in a row, you start to depend on that. Well, you should never depend on bonuses because they're not guaranteed money. And then all of a sudden it slips a little. I mean, dude's got a team of people. He's got mods. He's got, all this stuff, but he can surround himself with all he wants to. And that's cool. But at the end of the day, if you're not being forthright, it don't matter who you're surrounding yourself with. Eventually you're going to hate yourself for it because you misled people. And I want to say this about retail in general. Okay. This is something I thought about too. Look, we talk about all the shit that goes on in retail that we hate, but there are people out there who love it. And, these companies, whether it be Walmart, Target, whoever, there are these great little microcosms of utopia that actually exist. You may have somebody watching your video and you're talking about how shitty Walmart is, but they happen to work at some Walmart store that's kind of like the unicorn, and it's beautiful. Everything is great. They've got the right staffing. They've got the right manager, and their opinion's going to vary. And
I mean, yeah,
and it's like I've said, everybody's mileage varies on this stuff. Okay. But there are people that love it.
Yeah, no, our Alabama friend, easily one of the greatest managers I've ever worked for. And that was for Wally World. So just seeing a video like that, I do urge everybody here in the Generation Void Army.
Yeah,
don't go to his video.
All 12 of you?
Well, yeah, don't go to his video and slam the guy.
No, that's not what this is.
Because it's not exactly just him we're talking about. There is others too that decide just to do clickbait shit. Like it's like, there really is a good fight out there to be fought over retail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was about it for me on that part.
I just
don't go slam the guy.
Right. Yeah. And this isn't a hate video. Like I said, the dude's done great work. He's done a lot of cool shit, man, and he's exposed a lot of stuff, right? But as this thing has progressed, his personality has changed and different things. And if you go look at first videos and just do a timeline kind of thing, the problem is you start running into situations where hardcore managers who've been doing this for a long time see a bunch of his videos and start realizing this guy's full of shit because he's not telling the true story, or he's letting people give him information that he's not checking that is totally so off base and wrong that in the end game of life, you're going to go down as he was spouting all this stuff people were sending him, and it was so far off base that it was ridiculous. I know a lot of people that work in retail. I know a lot of people that work in a lot of different companies. And yeah, a lot of companies know who he is because he's damaged their reputation. But I also know people in these companies that would take a sword for me, that have no reason to lie to me, that tell me a lot of the shit he peddles is bullshit. And it's not his fault because he's getting comments from people saying, well, this happened at Lowe's, or this happened at Target, or this happened at this and that. Hey, that's cool, man. But eventually it's going to catch up with you. And that's why I encourage you to quit reading people's stories and have them come on and tell it, because that's when you can find who's truthful and who's not. And that's really one of the reasons why we haven't had a lot of hourly associates pop on here, because everybody's scared to say anything, regardless if we change their voice or whatnot. And I'm not going to do that for views, because nobody knows who the fuck we are. And that's cool, whatnot. I'm not jealous. I don't care. I do this because I want to, not because I need to, not because I have to. And I do believe that we need to have a place where people can come on and tell their story, but I'm not going to capitalize on other people's shit. I'm just not gonna. It's almost like plagiarism, if you think about it. It'd be like me saying, all right, cool, somebody just sent me this cool guitar riff, and I'm going to write a song over it, and it's Stairway to Heaven. And by the way, they stole that, just to let everybody know. Sorry, Kira. I know you hate that.
And don't use corporate tricks that you hate.
Right. As an associate manager, don't present bullshit like in this beautiful light, and then have the shady shit going on behind the scenes. And if I'm that's just the big irony of that video. Well, here's the thing. In the case for his video, this stream should be called "The Retail War Zone Ruins Everything," because it's about shining a light on the BS. Kira says no, because admitting he over-exaggerates story. Well, no. Here's the thing. There's a lot of followers that they're going to believe every word he says. And that's the sad part. And that's where you have a responsibility as a content creator to tell the truth. Because eventually it's going to come out. Here's the thing. Eventually it's going to run dry. Eventually people are going to move to the next big thing. Whether it's us or something else or whatever. And then you start looking at your bank account going, oh shit, man, my revenue has dropped. Guess what, man? It's like music, and you're a musician. All right. I know you play. Music's cyclical. The people that have provided us some of the best content are people that I know, and people that I know their stories, and some of the stories they have I've been privy to and witnessed. I don't, my reputation in retail is what it is. All right. I'm done. but I'm also 50 years old, and I can go find something to do to make some money if I need to. All right. But when you're at like Cody's age and whatnot, man, you've pretty much decided you're never working in a store anywhere ever again. And that's cool, because I give you credit for having the balls to do that. All right. And you know that, but you got to FFO, man. You got to fucking figure it out. And, I'm just disappointed. I really am. Why did this bother me so much? Because it's totally the antithesis of what we try to do. It's, look, these companies suck. Look, these employees get treated like shit. Look, blah, blah, blah. And you go and taint it, and you go and misconstrue it, and you try to fix it after the fact, but you don't really fix it. Man, not cool, bro. Not cool at all. You're killing the mission. You're making the mission look bad. You're making people who have real problems and real situations look like they can't be believed. And for that, you should be ashamed. Just saying. And like I said, I'll issue an apology video. I don't care. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But what you said in your video, you said what you said. Just remember that. A person's perception is their reality. And that person that watches that video and doesn't read the video description thinks that you went from being a store manager at GameStop to a DM for Walmart. And that person may think that they can do the same thing. No, you can't. Nope. Go play the lottery. You got a better chance of hitting that. I
mean, you became the very thing you sought to destroy.
Look, like it's like this. There's some videos out there where people really try to tear this dude down. All right. I mean, and they call him fake. They call him fake a lot. Look, I don't believe he's fake. I really don't. I think he's sincere in a lot of what he does, but I think he needs to be careful, because I think he's at the precipice of really fucking up. And,
and I mean, like I said, I had to take my ass whooping from Steve when I was proceeding to fall into that temptation, because I was starting to get a little bit bigger on TikTok, starting to get noticed a little bit. And that temptation to fame that will corrupt.
Yes. And let me just kind of expound on that. So we had a stream one night, and after stream, Alex and I were talking like we normally do. And I was like, yo, dude. And I've used this comment here on this topic. Don't cheapen yourself. Here's my thing. I mean, if this winds up spreading, look, you just need to know this. I think the dude's done good work. I think he has exposed a lot, and I think that he has done a whole lot for getting the treatment that retail people receive under a microscope. And I applaud him for that. Thank God somebody did. But now it kind of seems that we've lost our way a little bit, and we're starting to play in this gray area. And maybe it's time to reevaluate and decide what's more important, the mission or the money. And if it's the money, and here's the thing, if it's the money, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that at all, period. But make that known and make it clear. There's a lot of retail managers out there, man, that watch your shit, that give you a lot of thumbs up. But there's also a lot of retail managers out there who watch your stuff and realize, wait a minute, this is not right. And we know, because we watch. We know. As a matter of fact, when I messaged Cody, my closing comment was something along the lines of, look, if nothing ever comes of this, you keep doing what you're doing, quote unquote, you're doing the Lord's work. Us managers in the field are watching you. If you want to do it for the money, do it for the money and be honest. If you want to do it for the mission, do it for the mission and be honest. If you want to do both, make sure you balance it correctly. But like I said, us managers in the field are watching. And we're going to applaud you when you say the right things. But when you start spreading bullshit, we're going to call you out. So.
Well, and at the end of the day, Steve and I are also aspiring. Well, I don't really know about Steve, but I mean, I know me. I am definitely trying to become a content creator. That still is one of my goals.
Look, let me go ahead.
I get it.
Let me go ahead and say here what my goal is. My goal is to build a consortium of like-minded, good-hearted people that understand the challenges in retail. If money comes, money comes. And that's great. hey, I'll take money all day long. But
honestly, Steve, it's already been a huge success.
Number one, I'm not going to get hung up on the numbers, and sometimes I do find myself getting hung up with the numbers, and I have to kind of like slap myself and be like, it's kind of like being a musician. You're a struggling musician. You write a song. It was told to me a long time ago. There's 1 million people that will like the song that you wrote. The problem is finding those 1 million people, and I'm not going to get hung up on it. A lot of what I do with this is therapeutic. And, it is what it is. We're not for everybody. Some people, they'll watch 10 minutes of this and be like, oh, this is bullshit. Fine. I don't care. If you don't like it, don't like it. I'm still going to do it. But there's going to be people that come along that do like it. And that's what I'm here for. So, if I wind up getting rich on YouTube, cool. But here's the thing. If I get rich on YouTube, I'm still going to be the same asshole. I'm not going to change. I'm going to say what I say and do what I do and call it like I see it. What you get with us is real. And I think what you get with Alex is real too. And, that's the whole point. I mean, I don't care. I mean, if we get huge, we get huge. And the cool thing about that is if we get huge from being real. We ain't faking shit. We ain't blurring the lines. It just is what it is. And if we don't get huge, I'm going to continue to do this because guess what? I can. But
I'm not going to lie. That first night I ever tried G Fuel and got amped out, before we did that one stream, I almost lost my job.
Eventually people are going to find us, and eventually people are going to be like, oh shit, well, this is real. I mean, it's not, and eventually we'll get more people on and it's going to be great. But, if you read like the statistics and whatnot, it takes 22 to 25 to 26 months to actually get where you want to be. And I'm like, I ain't got nothing better to do. So let's go. So it is what it is.
I'm the same way. It's hard work, but
here's the thing. It's not hard work. All right. Here's the thing. If you consider it work, you don't enjoy what you're doing. Because the old adage is if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. Sure, I put a lot of work into research and a lot of work into graphics and all this other stuff. It's not work. It's just sitting at my computer doing something. It's not that big a deal. Look how many great musicians got rejected from record labels back in the day. Keep up the work and keep the integrity. Exactly. Okay, my wife knows that I'm the hugest Kiss fan on the face of the planet. And one of the funniest things is, she'll say something and somehow Kiss relates to it. And my comment is, it's a Kiss world. We just live in it. Here's my take on the retail war zone and the generation void. And this comes from a video called Extreme Close Up by Kiss, where Paul Stanley talks about the band. If you love us, that's great. If you hate us, that's cool too. If you're in the middle, get the fuck out. And that's the way you have to look at it. And the whole mantra behind Kiss was a quote from George Bernard Shaw, which was, the secret to success was to offend the greatest number of people. Oh, wow. We got babies on the screen now. That's crazy. This got weird really quick.
And we don't talk about that, all right?
And then the final statement that everybody needs to know, it doesn't matter if it's you're on YouTube or you're in your job or you play in sports or whatnot. If you persist, you will get. And that's it. But offer still stands. You want to come on, dude? Explain your story to our little community. Come on. If you can prove me wrong, I'll apologize. I don't care. I love Irish Connection. He's a great supporter. Great supporter.
Oh, yeah. No, I love to see him in chat, too. And I especially like to hear him talk.
Yeah. And
that was fantastic.
So, yeah. So, look, like I said, in closing, this isn't a hate thing. I don't hate the dude. Cody, you done some great work, man. You really have. Don't fuck it up. Just don't fuck it up. He must answer to all 12 of us now, damn it. Yep, that's cool, too. It's... Which is more important, the mission or the money? That's really what it comes down to. And if it's the mission, you need to fix that fucking video. You need to either take it down or you need to add something to the beginning. And if you don't, You know, who am I? I mean, I'm nobody on the internet. It doesn't matter. I've worked in retail for 30 years. You know, I'm just a little peon dude. It doesn't matter. So whatever. Do what you want to do. But eventually it's going to come back to get you. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, open invitation to anybody that ever watches this that is promoting what's going on in retail. Consortium, group of people, Justice League of anti-retail people. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Everybody have a great night. Like I said, this wasn't a bash fest. I'm just disappointed in the dude. He's done some great stuff, and I thought the last video was bullshit, so we're just going to leave it at that. So, having said that, everybody have a great evening, and we will see you Monday on the Misfit Lounge. Lord knows what, Kira, I'll bring out the guitars Monday unless something changes. So, everybody have a great night. I
actually had something in mind.
What?
I had something in mind.
All right, well, message me.
Yeah.
All right, everybody have a good night. See you next time.